everyone. Hey, it is midday mayhem time again, and got Ben Bryce with me again. Glad to have him on board today. Kind of let's dissect really what's going on here. You know, you look at the markets; they're jumping around. Here it is, the end of the month. You know, yesterday kind of a hard down day, and then now today we got something different. So what are we looking at here today?
So yesterday was a pretty heavy day, and I mean, so far throughout this session, it seems like we're getting a little bit more excitement. Maybe it's turnaround Tuesday. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of, potentially a little bit end of the month buying going into the end of January here with the last day tomorrow. But right now, you're just seeing this market really chop around. You're not really, you did make some new lows last night.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a great sign. But so far today, some decent buying volume coming to play based on what?
Yeah, fundamentally, nothing's really changed, right? Yesterday to today, we still have issues. South America, as far as beans, we're still overvalued compared to South America and out of Brazil.
Right.
So exports aren't getting any
no
better.
Flash sales. I mean, that if you maybe that would have been a little bit of fuel to this fire today, but we just aren't seeing those either.
So end of the month, maybe a little short covering.
Possibly. I mean, it's a pretty heavy month for a lot of these grains.
It is. Now, what do you expect moving forward, though? So we go into February. Is there anything that we should be paying attention to?
The biggest thing in February is going to be insurance pricing.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be, a lot of the talk. Where are the average closes throughout the month? That's going to be a big deal. You don't really have major reports in terms of the grains, but other than that, I really think February is just going to be focused on a lot of maybe fund positioning as well, because if they're looking for some more maybe excitement movement going into the spring summer, they're very short right now.
Yeah.
It's going to take them a long time to turn that ship around.
Yeah.
To slow down that freight train that is, all those short positions they've been adding week over week.
And they are, I mean, they're fairly short for corn and now building that short position for beans as well.
Right.
So, and that's, is there going to be something that can maybe turn that, as you mentioned, that big old ship? Can we turn these funds? And is the weather, is that something that we need to pay attention to? Because right now it seems like they're getting a little rain. Yeah, there's a little drier bias here and there, but is that something that could pay?
Weather is always going to be, a major player, because right now they're starting their harvest, right? They're underway. And if they continue to get rains, that might delay that a little bit. Now you start building that story, right? And if you have that story in there, with this market, it's very, like we've been saying for couple weeks now, it's just there's not really too much bullish sentiment out there that thinks that that this market this is it, right? And you're just not seeing that,
right?
And we need something to kind of lift this market that turns that rhetoric around a little bit, and maybe weather is one of them. Fund week over week, and possibly a shift in demand. But those are the main things I think you need to be looking at right now. If you're waiting for this market to kind of catch a little bit of a bid,
find a different direction, right? Now, is that happening in livestock, right? Hogs, very strong out of hogs, and just really on a tear since the beginning of the year, really.
Right. Yeah, the hogs, the livestock in general. Right? I mean, you look at where we were at just at the end of last year, coming down in those prices, and it was like an elevator shaft.
Yeah.
And now you're starting this trend that you're on right now. It seems to be gaining a little bit of traction, but is it sustainable?
Right.
Are we continuing to see the stronger box beef numbers day over day? Are we having good pork cutouts? Right. And is the demand there? I mean, it's one of those deals where it looks good, and going back to the grains real quick today, it looks fantastic today. It's one day, right?
One day does not make a trend.
Exactly.
And that's cattle, right? Let's talk about that for a second. Pretty strong. Box beef has been good, right? Yesterday you had all these reasons yet to have the market go higher, and then right at the close, right near the close, I should say, we saw something different. The market found a different attitude. We started pulling back. Is that
looking at those front contracts, right? If you're looking at the April cattle, fat cattle, it got right to those 100-day, 200-day moving averages. It went right in between them, and it wasn't able to hold it. So you're finding that this market is getting a little nervous. There's a lack of buyers as we continue to move up in this market. And is that something that is going to be something that we look for moving forward?
Sure,
is going to be something that is going to dictate.
And that's something too, I guess we do need to watch for that. But a lot of times these trends change. much like we're talking to grain markets, right? Everything seems to be bearish. Everything seems to be bearish. And soon as we start to see everything and one side of the boat loaded, the market finds a different direction. So that in itself could end up being bearish. The fact that everything is
exactly, you know, and
one way.
And keep in mind too, you know, we're sitting at levels a lot in these markets where price targets below, you're kind of in no man's land. You're kind of sitting down here, look at cattle, look at grain. You know, you have a few gaps above these markets that seem to be, you know, where this market might be looking for a potential target, you know, looking at 186 for some of these cattle markets.
And you know, cattle made just went just above that 50% retracement as well. So, you know, we're kind of back at these levels right now where we have to find this bullishness continue. Otherwise, maybe a little bit of a pullback may be in effect.
Exactly.
So, anything going on right now that's really mayhem for today that we need to discuss?
Mayhem for today, I mean, really the biggest story, just, you know, taking a big picture, is what's going on in the Middle East. You know, what's going on with the United States? How are we going to impact that? Biden says he's made a decision how he wants to go about some sort of retaliation or whatever that is. How does that look? You know, does that look at the crude oil? Because you start looking at crude oil there. If you have, you know, a crude oil, you know, spike and you start having a lot of money flowing there, that may leak over into our markets as well. So that's something that I'm looking at. It's too early to tell. There's nothing that's been decided yet. Nothing has happened yet, not from the U.S. response, but that's something that I think could shake things up here in the near future. Well,
I got to agree with you there, but a lot of mayhem going on. Stay in tune with us. We'll be back with you on Thursday. Ryan Etner's going to jump in on Thursday. We're going to talk a little bit more into cattle, a little bit more in depth there on Thursday. So stay in tune with us. Thanks for tuning in here today. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again.